the next title to be coming out is a book 6 of the Unicorn Rescue Society series, which I was really excited to co-author with Adam Gidwitz, and that was amazingly fun experience writing with him. And so lots of.
For those who don't know, please tell us more about that series.
Oh, it's fantastic. So Adam is, for anyone who hasn't read Adam, and I'm sure many of you have, like he's so funny and brilliant. And the series is it features a boy named Elliot and his friend Uchenna, and the two of them are part of this secret society called the Unicorn Rescue Society with a mission to save threatened mythological creatures around the world. So they have their the head of the Unicorn Rescue Society is Professor Fauna, this very eccentric and funny older gentleman, and they go on these adventures around the globe and save these creatures. So yeah, so it's everything from a bass dragon to a Sasquatch to a chupacabra. So it's really fun to see them, you know, traverse the world and also meet all sorts of interesting people and address different, you know, learn about different social issues in the process and different cultures. And so book 6 takes you to the Himalayas in Pakistan, and a really rugged terrain, and they go on their latest adventure. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it was really it's a fun read, and it was super fun to write. And I've never laughed as much while I was writing a book, but Adam's hilarious, and it was super, it's super funny. So hopefully people enjoy that too.
When you're coming in, you said that's book 6, and there's another author involved. A lot of that groundwork's been laid. Does that make things easier for you since a lot of that hard stuff's been done? Does it make it harder because now you have all of that you have to catch up on and make sure you kind of keep in mind going forward?
I think because I loved it so much, it made it easy. You know, it was sort of he had such strongly established characters and voices, and so I mean, I tried to mimic his style because you know, to make it flow, because we sort of alternated chunks of the story. So he would write part and then I would write part, and I would try to, you know, keep it similar, and then we'd go back and edit each other. And so it was a really nice collaboration and a fun way to move the story forward. But definitely I was a little bit nervous. I was like, I hope, you know, this doesn't sound off or really weird or, you know, just not like what he wanted. But he was great, and it ended up just being really, really fun. And yeah, because the characters were there. I mean, I was conscious of, and I've read all the other books, and so I was conscious of the continuity and making sure. But you know, he was great at, you know, figuring out that stuff too, if in case I slipped up. And he was just so supportive and open. Like, he's just so committed to diversity and inclusion, and about, you know, really showing whatever aspect of my culture that I felt like I wanted to share. And that was really fun to talk through those things and what aspects we wanted of Pakistani culture we wanted to highlight, what narratives we wanted to completely avoid, which I think is also, you know, an important part of the discussion in terms of how you might, even in terms of maybe trying to push back against dominant narratives that are negative, you might inadvertently reinforce them. And I think sometimes that happens. So that's something I try to avoid.
For those who don't know, what kind of dominant narratives would we trying to avoid?
So things like Muslim as terrorist. So even if you were trying to, you know, show that that's not the case, you know, I feel like sometimes even if you just go there, even if it's like, let's say, not in this book, it wouldn't be appropriate in the Unicorn Rescue books, but let's say a different book, you were trying to, and I thought about this, you know, in my Amina, my first Amina book, you know, oh, well, what if, you know, her older brother is, you know, accused of something, or, you know, called something, and then has to react to that or push back against that. It was still introducing that thought. And that was what I wasn't willing to do. Even if in the end, like, he's vindicated, or, you know, it's obviously this big misunderstanding or whatever it is. I thought I would just rather just not have a Muslim child have to see themselves linked to that narrative at all in any way. And that was something that my editor Zareen felt strongly about as well. And I feel, you know, really happy about that, because I feel like in general, if you try to push back against what people may think by saying, no, we're not that, you know, sometimes they still hear the first part. And I think it's the same when, you know, the idea of, you know, oh, Muslim women aren't oppressed, you know, instead of saying that, say what Muslim women are. Muslim women are educated and accomplished and, fashionable and successful. And that's what I tried to show in my picture book Under My Hijab. And it's, not, you don't have to define yourself by negating other people's thoughts of who you are, if that makes sense. And so Adam was great, like just a great partner in terms of trying to pull out the things that we wanted to emphasize, and things like hospitality and and just generosity and just really positive attributes of Pakistani culture, and that was really, really lovely.